Good morning. We did it. We made it to Friday.
I can't believe I got up at 6 a.m. for 5 straight days. I did it. We did it. We did it.
Are you enjoying the 6 a.m. alarm?
Honestly, I would rather be up at 5 than 6. I don't know why. Because
Really?
when Tim's not here, I fill in and I do the interviews.
Yes.
But when Lou's not here, I do the news anchoring and fill in for the banter.
Right.
I prefer doing your job.
Is that right?
I prefer getting up a little bit earlier, getting out another hour earlier.
Oh.
I don't know what the difference is. I can wake up easier at 5 than I can at 6.
Isn't that funny?
I don't understand
That's a circadian clock in you.
The circadian clock.
Something like that.
Sure.
I'm glad you're here, though.
Yes, I'm glad I'm here. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad.
Thank you.
I'm glad it's Friday.
And I'm glad somebody's watching. That's awesome. And a huge thank you to Casey's Security this morning, because for a second month in a row, they must like us or something.
Really?
They're sponsoring the show.
Oh my God, am I blushing? Am I blushing?
You so blushing. After he's been on for a week, though, they might go,
Okay, Casey, no. Please. Come back.
Casey, man.
Casey,
man. Some big announcements this morning for Canada's Walk of Fame. Dun-dun-dun-dun.
What is it? Me? You?
No.
Passed it over again, eh?
Yeah,
15th
just-
straight year you've said no.
I don't need it. You know what I'm saying?
You don't.
Will Arnett,
Okay.
who's an actor, is going to be inducted. Cindy Klassen, who's a speed skater.
Okay.
You're a sports guy,
I knew Will Arnett. I did not know Cindy Klassen.
Oh, yeah?
So.
No, there you go. Triumph, the rock band. High school for me. Frank Gehry, who's an architect, and hockey player Mark Messier.
Okay.
He's already in the NHL Hall of Fame.
Yes.
So now he'll be on the Canada's Walk of Fame. And the first person is Ernie Coombs.
Oh, Ernie Coombs. Yeah, the guy that wrote that book. The guy that sang that song. The guy that directed that movie. That guy that played that sport.
Dress Up.
Mr. Dress Up. The guy that was on that show.
Mr. Dress Up.
I was getting there.
Finally, my goodness. You know what? Ernie Coombs was my very first professional interview.
Really?
Yeah.
How nervous?
I was so nervous, and because I grew up with Mr. Dress Up, right? And I seriously, it was a phone interview.
Okay.
I graduated on Friday, started working the morning news on Monday morning in Espanola.
Yes.
Yeah, no downtime. And I did a phone interview with him. He was the kindest,
Yeah?
sweetest person. I said to him, "Oh my gosh, this is my first time, my first time." And so
First time with Ernie.
Yeah, with the Ernmeister.
I don't want to know how we got that name.
So he just said afterwards, he was so kind. He just, you did a great job, and you're going to go really far in this business, and just so
She went so far, she ended up here with me.
Yeah, see how far I came?
He was right.
Yeah.
You'll need that. But set the scene for me. Leading up to that phone call, were you just kind of shaking?
Well, it was at the end of the news run. So like in radio, back in the day, you do a newscast every half hour. So it's a very busy run. You're constantly updating, and So it was after 9 o'clock that I did it. So I kind of didn't really have time to think about it too much. But then when I had to call him and do the whole interview thing, and before I was so surprised.
Is there a copy of that interview anywhere?
I don't know.
That would be so cool.
Wouldn't that be cool?
Right, just to compare, because you've been doing interviews for so long now that
35 years.
I'm pretty sure you've got a pretty good grasp on how to conduct an interview by this point, right? Just to be so cool to compare what you've
Wouldn't
been
that
doing
be
now,
awesome?
right? And you'd be like, "Oh no, what am I doing? Why would I say that? Why would I ask like that?"
Yeah. And you know what? I wonder, even if the voice changed.
Oh, it must have, right?
Right?
Well, I notice a lot of people, the longer that they're in broadcasting or even just presenting, you can hear their voice just become that much more sound, that much more sure of themselves.
It's almost like you learn how to project
Right.
and how to speak and
Exactly.
stuff like that. Yeah, for sure. Another big one though for me was, oh my gosh, I'm drawing a blank. She was married to John Lennon.
Oh,
Yoko Ono.
Really?
Another phone interview.
That's so cool. How did you get these even?
What a bag. She was so not nice.
Oh.
Yeah, she was nice.
How did you get that set up? How?
I was working radio in Sudbury at that time.
Okay.
And
Was
somebody
she coming
else,
through or
yeah,
something?
she was coming through. She was doing an exhibit of John's, this is after his death, of his pencil sketches. He was a phenomenal sketcher. And he did a whole series of sketches that were about, 10 by 10, say.
Okay.
And he claimed that he never raised his pencil from the page one time.
Really?
When
I know people do that.
Yeah,
from time to
it's
time,
so, and they were so amazing. They were just so cool, and it's interesting because it makes you take another look at it because
Right.
you're looking to see. Oh, he had to have come up there, but apparently he never did.
But
so yeah,
Yoko,
Yoko.
Not nice, huh?
No. Maybe I got her on a bad day. We all have
Yeah, it
bad
happens,
days,
definitely, yeah.
right?
But-
But I have that one on tape. Is why I brought
Yeah?
it up. Yeah.
How long ago was that? How long were you in the
Oh
field at
gosh,
that time?
I was in the field probably just like 5 years or so.
Okay, so still relatively new
so,
then,
yeah,
yeah.
still pretty new at it.
Did you still have the nerves at that point?
You know what? I was never. This is gonna sound. People hate when I say this. I was never a Beatles listener.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, I listen more now.
Don't worry. Wait, is that somebody at the door? They're coming for you, Lou. They're coming. Right. So it wasn't such a, oh my God, it's
Yeah,
Yoko. Okay.
yeah.
So you-
Everybody in the station and their mother were in the control room,
Right.
Because they wanted to hear Yoko, and that's what made me nervous.
is that the hype?
Everybody was just like, "Oh my God, you're talking to Yoko Ono," and I'm like, "Yeah." And then she ended up being kind of a bag, so
Yeah, Yoko.
Yeah.
I know you're
Yoko.
watching, so
Yeah, totally.
see you later, Yoko. What are you doing now? Pff, yeah, exactly. We don't know.
Look at us.
Don't worry.
Huh?
I got your back, Lou. Don't worry.
Right on. You're the best.
Me, you,
Sam
and Ernie.
Smith, I looked at his brand new dance moves.
Okay.
They just issued a trailer for his video. The song's called "How Do You Sleep?"
Okay, I guess.
You know what? It's hard to watch for me because he has prettier hips than I do.
Oh, he's really
does.
giving it. Eh?
He's just, you know what? He's slimmed down so much because
Wow.
if you remember when he first started, he was a little bit heavier. And it's funny because during the whole video, he's sitting on a chair with all the dancers around him,
Okay.
and he's just kind of doing that sort of stuff. Yeah, like that. And so I'm thinking, okay, so his dance moves, yeah, he's sitting in a chair dancing. So he's not really but then he gets up, and I'll tell you what,
Hips.
good song. Good song. What a voice.
Hips that do not lie.
Right. He can't. It just awesome. Very, very, very well done. Great song. It's been a minute we've heard from him.
Yeah, good for his career though, right? If that's
Yeah.
just one more element you can add to your stage performances, that's just that much
Absolutely.
more money in his bank account. so
Exactly.
makes sense
It all
if you ask
works
me.
out. Absolutely. The new Cats trailer also just was
Right.
issued.
Are you excited?
Everybody and their mother is in that movie. Taylor Swift, she looks phenomenal as a cat.
Here's a bit of the trailer here.
Yeah. She looks
nice.
absolutely
I guess we don't have any
stunning.
audio on it.
No. But also in it is Jennifer Hudson,
Oh, wow, okay.
Idris Elba, James Corden.
Really?
Yeah, he plays,
That's cool. I like that.
Yeah, he plays
like that.
Cat, who's a little bit chubby and kind of klutzy.
Okay.
Falls down
Yeah,
lots,
I
you know?
like that drop stuff.
So funny. Idris Elba, James Corden, as I mentioned, Judi Dench, Rebel Wilson,
Really?
Ian McKellen,
Oh, would that
Jason
be
Derulo.
James Corden's character right there then?
I can't really. It is.
Okay.
Yes. Like just
God.
the makeup. I don't know how long. It must have taken hours
Must be
and hours.
miserable to wear for an entire day for 3 months.
Yeah, right?
Oh,
And if you stop the video, you can see how, sometimes you could tell, like in the old days, there were the masks, right? Like on Taylor Swift, like it's seamless from her face down to her neck to the fur. Like it's all, like it looks like it was spray painted on her.
see, the thing for me is like I wore like face paint for Halloween one night, right? 2 hours in, I'm like, get this off of me.
Right?
This is literally the worst thing. And I'm
It
sure
starts itching.
And I'm sure my face paint's probably, not as great as quality as Hollywood's.
Right.
But still, like for 3 months straight of just acting and sweating and moving and
I can't even imagine. And they move. Like there's some amazing dance moves. Twitter this morning, most people love Taylor talking about how sexy she is and she's very cat-like. A couple of people are just like, yeah, Taylor Swift a cat? But it's Twitter, right? So.
Oh, right. I'm Tim. Yeah, Taylor Swift a cat?
Yeah, right? Yeah, for sure. Who's on the show today, sir?
Today we're going to be talking with Dave McKeag, a pre-recorded interview.
Awesome.
Mine and his show getting well underway, and we want to promote that a little bit. Only on TV, Tuesdays at 6:30. Got to get the plug in.
Such an amazing show. Seriously.
I don't want to toot my own horn, but we've been
He doesn't have to. I will.
Okay.
His sports knowledge is stupid. Like, it's awesome. It's so phenomenal.
As well, Alana Kanopik from Tourism Sault Ste. Marie coming to promo the Poker Run. Fast Boats, 4th annual time they're coming through the city, so we'll need to know more about that.
All that coming up right after this.
Coming to get you, Barbara.
Listen to them. Children of the night. Alive! It's alive!
Have a great business idea but don't know where to start? Need help taking your business to the next level? C2C Business Services can be your guide in navigating the path of entrepreneurship, with services ranging from grant funding support, access to service experts, market information, and helping your business adopt new technologies to create and foster a culture of innovation for ongoing success. Call C2C Business Services and let them be your first step in taking your entrepreneurial dreams from concept to commerce. C2C Business Services is a division of the Sault Ste. Marie Innovation Center.
Welcome back to the morning show, where since I've been hosting for a little bit now, I get to bring in some guests that I'd like to speak with and maybe, plug some of our own stuff. So I brought in Dave McKeag, who's now featuring a brand new show on TV Tuesdays at 6:30, but he's been doing so much more. So we got to get into it. Dave, quickly, thanks so much for coming on the show.
How you doing, brother?
Great. So thank you for taking some time. I know you're going to work as soon as you get out of this interview. So let's make this quick and concise. Let's do this nice and easy. First off, the Game Sports Show.
Yes.
What even is it? Tell us.
The Game Sports Show is a Twin Sault's only local regional national sports show. Must make sure I put in the statement line there.
Of course.
However, the show started originally as Coffee with the Coach across the river, and then it originated in 2015, where we got from McDonald's. We started from McDonald's across the river, myself and Scott Nason, who I say is the true heartbeat of the show, in my opinion, and transitioned from McDonald's to the Wicked Sister, and we were always on Eagle 95.1 at that time, and it transitioned over to Sault, Ontario, where I was recording out of a cell phone. In 2015, myself, Dustin Grondin, Justin Heichel, Dane Hantro, who was here throughout the hockey season with us, and amongst other friends of mine that were there at the time as well. We're talking sports out of a cell phone, football, hockey, local, everything. And now I'd like to say since 2015, I think we definitely made some turns since.
Well, you've welcomed me on the podcast, so I can definitely say they're not using a cell phone anymore. They've got an audio board. They got really nice microphones. So definitely a big change from 2015 to now.
Yes.
But was there ever a point point when between 2015 and now where you thought, you know what, maybe this isn't going the direction I want it to? Maybe it's time to give up, take the hat off, and just go about, working your normal 9-to-5 job?
That's a very good question. I can remember actually leading into 2015 that I was going through a lot of personal issues myself with mental health, battling mental health, and I wanted to get my career aspirations in path, and always doing a sports show was something that I desired to do. And getting into with Coffee with the Coach at the time, which is now the Game Sports Show, as I mentioned, but one of my mentors, Paul Van Wagner. He was junior across the river. You've heard him on 99.5. You've heard him on Eagle 95.1. He was someone that said, David, just come and be a part of the family here. Get involved with doing the Soo High Blue Devils hockey, and then you'll transition to a sports show. So that happened. And when 2015 rolled around, when I was doing it out of a cell phone, I was really happy with myself. I was very excited. I ended up being very proud of what I was doing. And then my career job in terms of full-time money started coming into place, where I started at OLG before I transitioned at the Soo Area Hospital. And there was a time though on the radio where, yes, I was going through my personal issues, but I was also very easily down about how the show was progressing. Okay. And in Soo, Ontario, the results, I wasn't pleased with the results at first. And I knew I had to enhance the listener and the viewer entertainment. So recording out of a cell phone wasn't going to cut it. Having 5 individuals on a panel with having to pass a phone around without getting their first couple sentences in aren't going to cut it. When you're the Twin Sault's only local regional national sports show, I wanted to keep that name. I wanted to have this market. I wanted to be the individual that people can trust. I know there's a lot of good other sport outlets in town.
Oh, absolutely.
And a lot of them have supported and been on the show previously. But I knew I needed to grow that way. And I went home one night and said, I'm going to buy a microphone. I'm going to buy a new laptop. I'm going to download the Audacity program that we use. And I'm going to enhance our audio quality. And I wanted to bring in some guests. So I reached out to Connections and we ended up getting some big guests. Paul Maurice, Joe Bowen, Colin Miller, Craig Hartsburg. Craig Hartsburg was actually a part of the show as a casual analyst now, which absolutely amazes me. And
which is on Soo Online's YouTube channel?
Yes, it is. And Brendan Brooks, another former professional hockey player who's on our staff as well now. Andy Frost. And there's just, the list has grown. I knew I needed to get those big pieces. And everything's networking and marketing. When everything's on social media and everything grows, and then when you have those big stars or big names on there and they retweet it or they repost it, it just drives listeners. And that's when I knew I had to get to that point, or else it would have been time to cut it.
And when you got these big guests on for the first time, was that when I've got something here?
That was, sure, you think you have credibility in that respect, that you have that, but I also knew that I got some of those guests because of connections that I got while playing hockey. Okay. And also just in my short life in radio, where I also did some plugging with the Summer Cruiser with Rogers. So you meet connections and you grow. But that's where I knew that I was actually living my passion because I was happy I was doing it. It wasn't the fact that I was getting a guest and that I was going to get a lot of listeners from it, and especially with the Paul Maurice show, which is our highest listener rate to date. It's just that when I was talking to them, or when I was talking to those guests and talking about something I love doing, that's where I knew that this is what I was doing, and that's where I knew the show was going to grow, because it was something I loved and something that I knew that I could grow.
It's so obvious that you love it too. The passion that you're speaking with about the show is great. But 2015 with cell phones, the 2019 with multiple podcasts, the radio show,
Yes.
the TV show now.
Yes.
Can you say you've made it, or is there still something else you want to do before you can officially say, you know what, I'm happy with everything that we've done?
To be honest, I still want more. It sounds greedy, and that's fine for me to say, but we have our shows Monday 6 to 8 live. We're obviously here on Tuesdays at 6:30, Wednesday at Sports Center, then Thursdays at Northern. However, Thursdays have now moved to Sundays just for the summer months outside of Pier 55. So obviously we're busy with a lot of shows, and you can follow our website, thegamesportshow.com, and Facebook and Instagram at The Game Sports Show to keep track of everything that we upload. However, we obviously announced a big partnership.
Yes, and that's what I was getting to just now.
Yes, the big partnership that we announced just earlier this week, that we've now partnered up with Sovereign Communications, which obviously is known as now as ESPN. We've now partnered with that. So when someone would have told me 5 years ago that, Dave, you're going to be not only working with Soo Online, on TV, or having all these sponsors, but ESPN is going to come up to you and ask to air your show, do your show, that is where you know that you're starting to continue to grow. And I have my own media idea that I hope to grow by the spring to help enhance the community in terms of the curriculum with the schools and ideas. But I love how Soo Online is being involved with that, and ESPN. So I have still more that I want to do, but I'm more excited to have the presence with professional teams.
Right. So this ESPN deal, they actually reached out to Scott, correct?
Yes,
So
Scott
that means they
Mason.
must have heard the
It
show.
was Sovereign Communications that reached out across
Yes.
the river. That's the direct line here in Sioux, Michigan, Sioux, Ontario. And that's how they reached out. And Scott talked to myself, Butch, and EJ, which is the members are across the river. And we ended up getting the offer where they basically said we wanted to have a strong presence with the same show that you have Mondays, but we also want to have a bigger presence in Sioux, Ontario. So we're going to have live content on our Wednesday and Thursday shows. We're going to try to work that out, what the date's going to be specific, so we'll let our viewers and listeners know with that. But we're going to have that presence now. We're not just more local. We already obviously work with the Greyhounds, the Lakers, and the Thunderbirds, and Sioux Eagles, all those teams. But I'm excited to be able to, now we have EJ, who's going to be doing analytics in Ohio, who's going to be doing analysts with Columbus and Cleveland and the Browns and everything. Butch is in Detroit. Scott's going to be covering Detroit. I can be in Ontario covering the Toronto and Ottawa sports scene as well. So it's just that presence that we have the market here locally, and now we've expanded in the nearby area.
So what is this partnership, quickly too, because we're running short on time,
Yes.
what is this partnership with ESPN going to allow now for the show?
The show, it's going to allow that more live on air time. More opportunity for listeners to view us at different times on different media bases in terms of Facebook or social media of such. That presence with sport and events in town, locally, or outside in the professional. And it's also just having the extra credentials with the show as well. You know, to have the Game Sports Show be partnered with that, and to have that name beside us along with the great names that we have already, with like yourself with Sioux Online on NTV and everything. It's fantastic. But I will always remember who helped me get there as well, and Eagle 95.1 helped us with the startup, you know, but we're also very excited to have this new partnership.
Now, Dave, before I let you go, what would you say to someone maybe on the fence, someone that's a local sports fan that says, you know what, maybe this is a good idea, but I'm just not sure if I want to go through and actually reserve that time for the show?
There's a lot of opportunity to listen to the show live, or if you want to listen to it on the internet, or on demand. There's so many options you can listen to it. But if you're on the fence about listening to the show, I want everyone to remember that we are the only sports show in town that has all those media platforms. And obviously I mean that in a respectful way, saying that. So we want to cover everything local. So if you enjoy hearing local content, we have that. Professional, we have that. And if you also want to be a guest yourself, we have fan guests that we like to put on the show. There's a lot of opportunity for the show, and for the listeners and viewers. You just have the opportunity on the platforms to listen to us. And if you're on the fence about listening, don't be, because we provide such a realistic feel. We don't really follow a script. We know what we're talking about though, but we want to keep everything real and relatable as possible. And that's where we take pride on the Game Sports Show, and we promise that we'll keep you entertained.
Big things coming for the show. I'm just excited that I'm a part of it. And Dave, I got to thank you for the opportunity.
Brother.
Thank you for coming in.
Absolutely.
More mornings, Luann and Tim, right after this.
Booyah.
I'm doing whatever it takes, stopping and nothing, I'm up in your face, shaking it off, no matter the cost, I'm feeling the wind, I'm taking it all, I'm paving the way with the sweat and the blood, I'm at the top, I'm rising above, I want the gold, give me the rush, Queen Midas, I got the touch. I'm pushing, 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 I'm pushing.
Housed in a 15,000 square foot custom manufacturing facility built to produce world-class cabinetry at surprisingly affordable prices, Great Lakes Fine Cabinetry brings your project from initial concept to final design. Proudly providing Northern Michigan and the Algoma region with quality hand-built cabinetry for the past 20 years. Located at 844 East 3 Mile Road, Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan, Great Lakes Fine Cabinetry, making your cabinetry dreams come true. With over 45 years of experience, All Ontario Well Drilling offers hydrofracking and all well drilling services. Call 705-575-8088 or 705-257-9495.
At Maitland Ford Lincoln, we see our trucks everywhere. We see them on Queen Street, Lake Street, North Street, Bay Street, 2nd line, 3rd line, 4th line, Pine Street, Great Northern People's Road, Wellington, Cora Road, Bruce Street, Carmen's Way, Northern Ave, Trunk Road. Folks come from all over Algoma District and beyond to buy their truck at Maitland Ford Lincoln. Amazing prices, outstanding service. King Street, Shannon Road, Goulet Bay, Black Road, Government Road, and even on Pine Shores. Yep, our trucks are everywhere. Get yours at Maitland Ford Lincoln, built for Northern life, on Great Northern Road, just north of the hospital.
Me? You?
Yes.
Me?
You go.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Thanks, Dave, for coming on. I know that's pre-recorded, but you're probably watching at home right now. So thank you very much for...
You guys do such a good job together.
Me and Dave,
This is exciting.
Yeah, it
really is.
Yeah.
This show's phenomenal. Please check it out.
And the podcast getting picked up by ESPN now.
Right?
That's crazy stuff.
ESPN?
That's crazy
I don't
stuff.
do sports. I know ESPN.
Yeah.
Right?
Most people are going to recognize ESPN as big as it is.
And we got them first. So check it out.
There it is.
There it is. What day is it today?
Well, I've been waiting for this on National Daiquiri Day. Hold on 1 second. Let's gotta have a little drinky boo. And
A little drinky poo.
let's keep this show going.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
What kind of
Didn't see you there.
what kind of daiquiri do you like?
Strawberry.
Really?
Love it.
I don't like daiquiris.
Really?
They're too sweet.
Really?
Yeah, when
Well-
I drink, I want to have 10 or 12. They're too sweet.
Oh,
to
that's
have
it? No.
Yeah.
24. Easy. One for
you
every
like-
beer I have.
Yeah, right. Oh, gee whiz. I had a party with this guy one day. Do you do the whole umbrella thing?
No,
you don't do
I'm not that
eh?
fancy. I mean, I've only ever had maybe 2 or 3 in my
Right.
lifetime.
Yeah.
But they've been good.
I always
Fresh
think-
strawberries.
Right.
Oof.
I always think there's got to be a bazillion and a half calories in a daiquiri.
Don't
Right.
think about that.
No.
And you just think, this tastes good.
This
And then
tastes yummy.
This is a problem for tomorrow.
Tomorrow's another day. I have the 2019 list of the world's most admired people.
I came in at second, behind Lou.
No, he was first. Absolutely.
Oh, I
You
shouldn't
know
be
what?
biased.
For the women,
Bill Gates, that's a weird way to spell Alex
Yeah.
Barr.
you look so different.
I
too.
know, I know. Bad-
so for
my
the
bad
guys,
angle.
for the guys, Bill Gates, year number 2 that he was number 1.
Mm-hmm.
Then Barack Obama, makes sense.
Jackie Chan, really?
Jackie Chan?
Of all people?
What?
Of all
Jackie Chan? I didn't realize Jackie was still working even.
Well, I guess it's the world thing. Maybe just not so
Yeah.
much in Western culture that we're admired to him.
Right.
Maybe it's more an Eastern culture thing. I'm not sure.
The president of China.
Okay, this will definitely not
Jinping.
just be
Right?
Western culture, then for sure.
And then Jack Ma, who's an Asian business person. So 3 Asians in the top 5.
Good for them.
Yeah.
Good for them representing.
You know what? Absolutely. Obviously very intelligent. Now for the women. Michelle Obama.
Of course.
Was number 1.
Of course.
Are you interested in reading her book at all, or?
Should I be interested in reading her book?
Yeah.
Okay. What's
I
it
think
about?
So.
What's it about?
It's about her. It's called Becoming Michelle
Okay.
Obama. And it's about her transition and what she saw and kind of the behind the scenes. I think she is phenomenal.
So many people want her to run for president.
Right? She would so kick some butt.
Oh, I think she'd have a great chance of
I do
doing
too.
At actually getting elected into.
I think the current occupant would be a little bit concerned if she decided that she was going to run. There's her book. She's so influential and classy and supportive of her husband. Number 2 was Oprah. No big surprise. Angelina Jolie was number 3. She was number 1 last year. Michelle went, move along. The Queen.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and Emma Watson.
Okay.
From Harry Potter, huge actress. Yeah.
I think I can agree with all those.
Makes sense.
If Michelle was elected to be president, would it be the first man then? Would Barack be the first man of the White House? The
you
first
know what?
first
That's
man?
come up. Yeah. Right?
I don't know.
I know he's her first man. See what I did there? Yeah.
Well, I think we're running out of time.
Yes, we are.
For this banter. No more banters till we wrap up with her
at the end
furry
of the show.
friends. But for now, right after this break, I'll be speaking with Alana Kanopik about those quick boats with the poker run. See you then.
Recently, the Government of Ontario established a $100 million affordability fund to help Ontarians who don't qualify for low-income conservation programs ease the burden of their electricity bill. Whether you rent or own your home, as long as you pay your electric bill, you could qualify. There are 3 levels of support available. The first is a home energy kit with upgrades like smart power bars and LED light bulbs. The second includes Energy Star appliances that help keep things cool during the hot summer months. The third is for electrically heated homes so that your power bills don't break the bank during those long Canadian winters. Plus, all upgrades, including installation, are completely free of charge. Visit affordabilityfund.org or call 1-855-494-FUND to find out if you qualify.
When you support the Restore, it helps Habitat for Humanity build affordable housing for families. How does this work? New and gently used goods are donated to the Restore. The sale of these goods generate funds for building homes. For every $1 spent at the Restore, there is a $4 return on investment within our community. For example, Habitat homeowners have better educational outlook, increased employment stability, improved health, and reduction in the use of social services. Every donation and every dollar we receive through the Restore helps build sustainable housing for future homeowners. Everyone needs a foundation to build a future. To find out more and how you can help, drop by the Restore at 32 White Oak Drive or go to habitatzoo.ca.
Despite the unpredictable weather we had yesterday, Suites ventured to Clerk Park for the kickoff of the 98th annual Rotary Fest. Rotary Fest runs from July 18th to the 20th this year and includes activities like the Midway, music, children's activities, and a ton of food, including the famous Rib Fest. On TV was there to check it out.
Well, it's our first night of our 3-day festival, and it's Rotary Fest for the 98th year for Sault Ste. Marie. It's a night of free music. We got the Rib Fest going on, competition with 4 world-class rivers. We got our food tent, the kids zone's up, we got inflatables, and of course the Midway is always a huge attraction for the young ones. This year we're doing a 50th anniversary Woodstock honor for our main stage, so we have wonderful bands throwing back to the classics, and we also have stage 2 by the art gallery for the local artists, and some amazing young singers going to be performing there. You know what? Despite the weather, a little bit of rain just cooled it down. That was the main thing, and it still brought out all the kids and all the families, and seeing the smiles on all the kids' faces, that's the main point, no matter what the weather is. Honestly, I think the best part is the parade. I think on Saturday morning, bright and early, all the community shows up for the parade, and then everyone funnels down to the grounds, and then we just have a full day of Saturday. It's a full day of fun. all the way through, and then the car draw at 11:45 at night, right on main stage, right over there, and then hopefully we're gonna pick a winner that's in the crowd or wake someone up with a great phone call.
Suites of all ages gathered at Bellevue Park last evening for Arch Hospice's 5th annual Butterfly Release. The release is just one of the fundraisers Arch puts on to raise the $750,000 needed to operate each year.
Fundraise $750,000 every year, and it's events like this and having the support of our community that really allows us to open our doors and provide the end-of-life care that we do provide to our community at no cost. So you can help us out by attending a fundraiser, by donating, and it definitely means so much to have a meaningful event that our community embraces year after year.
We've come every year, and that's for 5 years running. My husband always provides the entertainment and the music, but we really come because we're so fortunate to have Arch in our community.
Well, the butterfly launch is really important to me because 3 years ago, July 3rd, I lost my husband at Arch. And I came to the very first launch about a week and a half after he had passed. And I was so moved by the crowd and the support our community gives to Arch, but more importantly, the connection of releasing that butterfly. And I've said ever since I did that the first time, I didn't want to miss the events. And Tom is here because he has a similar story.
Yeah, my wife died at Arch. She was at Arch at the same time Sally's husband, Alan, was there. We didn't really meet, but Pat died at Arch almost 3 years ago. So I've been a fan of the place ever since. You have to say it's a remarkable place, and it's an extraordinary service to the community, and it's everything that it should be and more. So events like this in the public domain are, number one, I think they provide families with an opportunity to commemorate and celebrate, but it also puts it out in the public domain, and I think Arch is really good at that.
My grandma actually passed away last week, and she loved butterflies, so my son wanted to come and release a butterfly in memory of my grandma.
European Council President Donald Tusk says he's happy that while he's been in Montreal, no one shouted, "Send him back." That was a dig, of course, at right-wing populism in a press conference with Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. Meanwhile, Trudeau talked about why trade is so important.
By opening up new markets, businesses are able to grow and create good, well-paying jobs that middle-class Canadians and citizens need. This agreement is helping put food on the table for families while strengthening our communities. It is unfortunate that there are still political parties in this country that are resistant to trade, indeed resistant even to trade with Europe. I mean, you think about who we can trade with around the world, and looking at Europe as a progressive, aligned in values, ferocious about fighting for the environment, ferocious about defending workers' rights and citizens' rights, as Europe has always been recently. You have to ask the question of people like the NDP in Canada, that if you don't think we should have a free trade deal with Europe as progressive, positive, and aligned as they are, then with whom?
Court records released yesterday show Donald Trump was aware of efforts to keep a porn star and a Playboy centerfold silent in the days leading up to the 2016 election.
A couple of big developments today. First was the unsealing of several hundred court records that offered new details on President Donald Trump's role in a hush money scandal involving money that was paid to two women who accused him, or who alleged that they had extramarital affairs with him before he ran for president. Donald Trump had previously insisted he was unaware of these payments. The records unsealed today in Manhattan Federal Court make clear that he had several conversations with members of his campaign who were frenetically trying to keep these stories from hitting the press during the 2016 presidential election. The second development is that the Associated Press is reporting today that federal prosecutors have decided not to pursue criminal charges against anyone other than Trump's former lawyer, Michael Cohen, in the case.
U.S. President Donald Trump said yesterday he was unhappy with his supporters chanting "Send her back" after he assailed a young Democratic congresswoman who he's suggested should leave the U.S.
This is the strategy that Trump is using. he doesn't believe that any Democrats are going to vote for him in 2020. And among independents, people that go back and forth, more of them are going to vote Democratic than Republican next time. So his chance of being reelected is to get a super turnout from his base, white conservatives, particularly non-college educated white conservatives. And by keeping them angry as can be, he's hoping that that will translate into good turnout come November 2020.
That vicious, the way she said it, vicious F word, that's not somebody that loves our country.
As a nation, Canada has participated in all of the major world conflicts. In the Sioux area alone, over 10,000 men and women have enlisted in the Canadian Armed Forces. The Veterans Commemorative Monument aims to cement the legacy of the Canadian Armed Forces in stone. It will highlight the bravery, strength, courage, and sacrifice of our servicemen and women. In times of need, they volunteered to serve us. Now it is our time to thank and recognize their sacrifice. You can help honor our men and women of service by donating today. To help construct this special, one-of-a-kind monument, visit thosewhoserve.ca to find out how to donate and more.
I need to find home care for my dad. My husband can't find a job. Our fights hurt the kids. When you don't know where to turn to 211. The helpline to community and social services in 150 languages. 211 is free, confidential, 24/7, and answered by friendly specialists. Dial 211 or search 211ontario.ca. 211 helps people find the right community and social services. 211, when you don't know where to turn. Supported by United Way, your local community, and the governments of Ontario and Canada.
I am a mother, and I am a sister.
I'm a father.
A wife. A daughter. I'm Somali lady.
I can very proudly say that I'm a teacher.
A social worker.
I'm a human being.
I have a dream
to be free.
And I wish we live in the world full of peace.
A little bit of Alex as well this week. And if you thought you knew Poker Run without actually going to the event or without actually speaking with Alana Kanopik from Tourism Sault Ste. Marie, you've got no idea. This is the most notes I've had for an interview all week. There's so much stuff we have to get through. So first of all, let's say the person on the other end of this camera has no idea what a Poker Run is.
Poker Run is.
Let's tell them.
In our case, a Poker Run is an assembly of the fastest, most beautiful boats you've ever seen in one place. And the idea of it is it's not a game of chance. So they go from point A to point B, collecting 5 playing cards, and the best hand wins.
So this isn't necessarily a race then?
It's not a race. No, it's a game of chance. The slowest boat could win, the fastest boat could win, anybody can win. It's all in the cards.
And this is coming up quite soon, July 26th it kicks off.
Yeah.
So July 26th, when those boats hit Sault Ste. Marie, what's their weekend going to look like?
Okay, so boats will start arriving. Some will come in on Thursday night, some will come in during the day on Friday.
Right.
They're all going to be assembled in the Station Mall parking lot. Station Mall has been a great partner for us since the beginning, and what's going to happen is the boats will come in, they'll put their rigs down towards the southwest side of the parking lot down by the old Walmart.
Yes, last year they would have been in the Sears parking lot, but this year they're shifting down to the other end.
They're shifting down to the other end. So the boats will be there, and then on Friday throughout the day, mostly in the afternoon, they'll start launching.
Okay.
And our home base is the Roberta Bondar Marina and Pavilion. The boats will be there. So Friday night, the community's welcome to come down. We have all the new docks down at the marina.
Yes, the beautiful new docks.
This will be kind of the opening weekend for the new marina for all the docks, and the boats will be there. Folks can come down. They can go down, meet the drivers, look at the boats. The drivers will be having a welcome reception on Friday night. And then on Saturday morning, first thing for us, we kick off with a safety meeting. We have all of the authorities come and we do a plan of the whole event. All of the drivers will learn about where they're going and what we need to know. And then at 9:30 we do a community welcome reception and opening ceremonies.
Busy, jam-packed weekend for these riders. And these people aren't just local. We've had people representing California for their 4th year in a row since this thing has started.
Absolutely.
How crazy is it that we're getting people so far and wide in the world coming to Sault Ste. Marie?
You know what they like, Alex? They love our our water.
Of course.
They love our water. Sault Ste. Marie, North Channel, it's the most pristine, beautiful water, iconic to Northern Ontario. A lot of these folks that do poker runs are used to lots of boat traffic, busy, busy, busy. This run, they get to come and they get to actually look at the scenery. They get to be in a small, welcoming community that just embraces them, and they just want to come.
The one thing I wouldn't describe as small, though, is the grand prize at $10,000.
$10,000.
How do we get a pot so big?
So Poker Runs America, this event is sanctioned and run by Poker Runs America, who have been running poker runs for the last 30 years.
Right.
Started in Miami back in the days of Miami Vice, and it's just grown and grown and grown. So they help put the money in towards the grand prize. Tourism Sault Ste. Marie helps with the activities for the events while they're here, and it's a partnership.
And Tourism Sault Ste. Marie, how much of it planning goes into this? This is the fourth time around now, so there's a few things we'll know what to do right, what went wrong.
For sure.
How much planning goes into an event like this?
It's a year-long process.
Yeah.
You know, events of this size, there's so many check boxes that we have to look at. We have to make sure that safety, number one priority, right? We make sure that's taken care of. And then the spectators and the fans, we want to make sure everybody has a great show. And we want to make sure that the participants have a great time. So there's all different check boxes that we look at throughout the year. The marketing plan, how do we get everybody here? So I'll roll into next year at the end of this year.
Right, and most of the information that if people want, it's on the website. What is the website, though, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah, so all of the information for our local poker run is on the Sault Ste. Marie Poker Run website. It's ssmpokerrun.com.
Perfect.
You can go there and you can look at all the different card stops, learn a little bit about the places that we're going to. You can apply to volunteer on there. You can learn all about what a poker run is, and then it gives you links to different places for more information.
And it also gives you links because right now you're looking for marshal boats, correct?
Yeah, so what a marshal boat is we need people to be on the water to help us make sure that our poker runners know where to go and know where the safe spots are and where the danger zones are. So if you're planning on being out and looking and watching the poker run, the best thing you can do for us is hold a flag. So what we would do for the marshal boats is we would provide everybody with the locations. They have to anchor in that spot, hold a big yellow flag that we provide them with, and it just lets us know where our course is and it keeps everybody safe.
Right, so they're not veering off, going to a completely different spot and getting lost, which of course we don't want.
Well, we don't want, and because they can be going fast and those boats are really big, especially when their bow is up in the air, it's hard to see sometimes, so we need to make sure that they know where they're going. The really neat thing too is Poker Runs America provides all of our marshal boats with a 1-year subscription to Powerboating Canada magazine.
Okay, that's really
and
cool.
they get a Poker Runs America t-shirt. So it's a great thing to help the community. You get a great reward for it. If you're interested, please go online, ssmpokerrun.com, or you can even call me directly, 759-5462.
Perfect. We got a direct line there. And another big portion, something you definitely wanted to talk about, was the charity ride. Tell us a little bit about the background, because this is the first year that you'll be switching charities as well.
Right. So one of the great things that Poker Runs America loves to do for the community is offer charity rides of a lifetime. So not only do you get to look at these boats, you actually get to go for a ride in them.
Oh my goodness, that's too cool.
It is. And they do. They take the people out for a good 20-25 minute ride. It's a $100 ticket, and the money is 100% turned over to local charity. This year we have the Twinkie Foundation as our charity of choice. The last 3 years we've worked closely with Big Brothers Big Sisters, and this year we've selected the Twinkie Foundation as our charity, and then all of the proceeds go towards their foundation.
And big admiration for Big Brothers Big Sisters, saying, you know what, I think it's time for another charity to take their turn too. That's fantastic. Big thumbs up to them.
Absolutely.
So this is also going rain or shine too. So if there's a little bit of drizzle, those racers are still going to be, not racers, but those, I guess what would be the proper term to the
poker runners?
Poker runners, participants, right? So rain or shine, it's going to go, but fog or lightning provides a little bit of a caution.
Right. So we have to keep safety as our priority. So we will make the call as close to, or probably at the moment of. We go at the command of the United States Coast Guard. So they essentially have the go-ahead green light button for us.
Okay.
So we have a visibility measure that we look at. We have all types of things. So we will be going even if it's drizzling, but if there's any threat to safety, then we'll stop it.
Right. Fog, obviously you can't see. Lightning, metal boats, and big bodies of water. Probably not the best mix. But Saturday night is the actual award dinner where people will get their hands for poker and see which one is actually the winning hand. But they've got to feel like superstars when they're showing up at their hotel in a limo ready to go to the award show. Tell us a little bit about what their evening will consist of.
Okay, so we are hosting our card reveal dinner at the Canadian Bush Plain Heritage Centre. What better place to show off iconic Sault Ste. Marie attraction to people coming in from out of town. For us, from a tourism standpoint, that's ideal. We're going to bring everybody there. First thing they do when they come in is they collect their last playing card. It's in a sealed envelope, and then we have a big display board and they put all of the cards up on the board. We have our dinner. It's going to be catered by Grand Gardens, and then at the end of it, what happens is we open up all of the cards, lay out the playing hands, and the best hand wins the cash.
And that's got to be so cool too. So you don't necessarily need to be faster than any other boat. Like you said, you can be last place and still have just as good a chance as anyone else.
Absolutely.
So for someone watching at home right now who's going, that's pretty cool, but I don't know if I want to make it out, what would you tell them to convince them and get them down there to that waterfront?
You will never see boats like this assembled in one place at one time anywhere like in Sault Ste. Marie. You have to come down, you have to hear them, you have to feel them, and you have to see them.
And there's no better place to do it than on our beautiful waterfront as well. Alana, thank you so much for coming in. It's going to be a jam-packed weekend. Don't miss it, and don't miss the rest of Mornings with Luann and Tim right after this. Thanks.
Prescription drugs. When used properly, they can help. But last year, more than 80,000 Canadian kids used them to get high, even though it can be very dangerous. Prescription drug abuse. It can damage a teen for life. Get the facts and talk with your kids about prescription drug abuse. Visit canada.ca/drug prevention. A message from the Government of Canada.
Hi there. I'm from Ad Standards, and I'd like a moment of your time. In 1963, we created the Canadian Code of Advertising Standards. The code not only applies to TV, print, and radio advertising, but all outdoor and online advertising too. Online advertising, what is that? Simply put, we help ensure all advertising across all media is truthful, fair, and accurate. Truth in advertising for over 60 years.
This sure looks pretty stupid, doesn't it? Dangerous even. But lightning kills like 3 people a year in all of Ontario. That's nowhere close. That's nowhere close to the 16,000 that smoking kills. So, what's more stupid?
The best part of filling in for Tim on a Friday is getting to hang out with Laura, getting to hang out with these cute animals. If you saw me 2 weeks ago with the rabbits, you know how much fun I have. Laura, thanks again for always coming and doing this on a Friday.
Alex.
So tell me, who's this cutie here? Who are we dealing with today?
This little sweetheart, her name is Hedgie. She's an 8-year-old pug mix.
Definitely knows her name as well, because every time you said it, she's looked at you right away. Yeah.
She's actually, she came from the same house as the dog that I brought in last week.
Right, of course, you guys watched last week too.
Exactly. Really nice dogs. That one actually went home yesterday.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, so we got to find Hedgie's little home now.
Right. And what's Hedgie like with other animals? How's he been like at the shelter?
Hedgie would be good in pretty much any home. She's been around dogs, cats.
Oh.
She has slight food aggression issues, which is kind of not uncommon for the little ones. You know, they have kind of Napoleon syndrome sometimes.
Yes.
So we probably wouldn't recommend toddlers that would be at the food bowl or things like that. So older kids.
Right. But I mean, even that's not so much of a problem. It's just let her eat, right? Let her eat, let her do her thing.
Exactly.
And how old is she now? So what kind of ideal home are we looking for?
She's 8 years old. The smaller breeds live quite some time.
Yes.
So, I mean, she's still probably got a good, 8
That's
to 10 years.
To say, too.
Yeah. She's in great health, so.
Right, no health issues. She's already been spayed?
Yeah, she came in spayed. So she's actually one of our reduced adoptions too.
And she's been in a home as well before, so it's not like she's on the street, not really house trained. She knows what she's doing.
Completely completely housebroken. She knows basic commands. She's good. I mean, that's the nice thing too. We have background on her, so we know she knows her name. So you can make that bond kind of quickly with her. Whereas sometimes with the strays, when they don't come in with a name, you have to really work extra hard to build a bond because you don't know their name and they kind of look at you like.
Yeah, but I mean, Hedgie, since the moment you came in, was right in your arms, sat down. Hasn't really been putting up too much of a fight.
No.
For going to the Humane Society, if they want to get more information on Hedgie, can they just go to the front desk? How does that process
Absolutely, you can
work?
even call or just come in, talk to the girls at the desk. We have pretty much all the information right there. So
now, I'm not too familiar. Is your website any use for actually looking at animals coming in and doing anything of that kind of sort?
For the dogs, like we're really busy, and it's the staff. We try to do our best to keep up with the website and our Facebook and other social media. The dogs, we try to get them up on the website same day.
Okay.
Unless there's some kind of an issue that we can't put them up.
Right.
Because sometimes if they're like a situation.
For whatever for unforeseen circumstances.
Sometimes we don't, but 90% of the time the dogs are on the website same day they go onto the adoption floor. We don't always have all their information, but you can always take a look, and if you see something, just call for more information.
And right now, are you at capacity for dogs?
We're a little bit over capacity.
A little bit over capacity for the dogs.
Yeah, we've thankfully got some dogs that can be that came from the same home that can be housed together.
Oh, no way. Okay.
So we're full. We're full of cats. We're over capacity for cats right now too.
Is that usually the case in the summertime?
Yeah, it usually starts a little bit earlier. It started really getting bad within the last 2 weeks. Usually starts more into June, but we're late this season.
And what's the reasoning behind the more peak in the summertime? Is it just because Christmas time, more people are thinking about pets, spending time inside, they want some company, or?
I think there's more, like people spend more time outside, more family vacations,
right?
Things like that. Where
another responsibility that's kind of hard to leave at home when you still want to go out on vacation.
Yeah.
And do your summer activities.
And I think sometimes a lot of people are like, "Why did we sign up for this?" And
right.
when the pet gets in the way, that's why before you adopt, before you purchase, it's something that you really need to think about. Lifestyle. Does an animal suit your lifestyle?
And is there anything else we need to know about Hedgie? Because for the most part, he seems pretty housebroken.
Hedgie's amazing.
And for donations for the Humane Society, I know you guys appreciate blankets, sometimes food and stuff like that. What sorts of things are you guys looking for right now?
Right now we're getting pretty low on towels.
Okay.
We use towels a lot for the cats, for cat cages, and being that we're over capacity.
Yes.
Close to 100 cats. We're going through a lot of bedding like that, wet cat food. We're pretty good for dogs supplies other than toys. We're going through toys like crazy.
Yeah, I've had my fair share of dogs that would just tear toys to pieces.
The toy bin was looking pretty sad the other day, so.
Right, so even if you're at home right now watching and you say, Hedgie's adorable, but I can't adopt him, there's multiple ways that you can help out the Humane Society.
Absolutely. Even like we accept children's toys too that are durable. So like children's stuffed animals, things like that, like balls, anything that your kids no longer use too that seem dog appropriate. We can.
How big of a mess do the dogs make with some of these toys from time to time?
We learn which ones not to give stuffies to.
Right, and I'm sure you learned pretty quickly then.
Yeah, we learned one day, you remember Buddha? She's our famous wheelchair dog?
Yes.
Not to give Buddha a duvet.
Okay.
She blew up the duvet and all you could see were her eyes. It was just the dog run and feathers and Buddha's little eyes.
I bet she had a blast though, right?
It must have been a fun night for her.
Right, just looking like, I'm in trouble, but worth it.
Oh, she didn't even care. She's like, look at what I did.
And what other sorts of animals do you guys have in the Humane Society? You guys are more than just dogs and cats.
Yes, we currently had a huge drop-off of domesticated rats.
Okay.
So we've got up for adoption right now probably close to 15 to 20 rats. We're doing pretty good for the small critters. Anything, guinea pigs, hamsters, approved city bylaw reptiles, so snakes.
No
we don't
way.
have any right now, but we constantly get things like that in.
And I know you mentioned rats too, and I know people go, rats. Rats are so smart. I've had friends with rats as pets, and they are just
If you're looking for a cage pet for a kid, I mean, a rat makes a better pet than a hamster.
It does, but it's just something that people got to kind of get over, that the fact that it's a rat.
It's the tail, I think.
Yeah, the tail, the eyes.
If it was a furry tail, it'd be a different story, I think.
You know what? Rats, you cannot convince me that. No.
I'll have to bring a rat in one Friday.
How are you?
My husband had a rat, and his name was Zeb.
Yeah, they're so smart.
He loved him.
Really?
You can litter train them.
And he would come right to the edge of the cage to say hello.
Oh.
Some of them do. They're incredibly intelligent.
Yeah, they're really, really smart, apparently.
I never noticed how long Hedgie's tongue actually is.
Yeah, the little guys, sometimes they're long and then they curl up.
Hope you like your kisses at home, that's for sure.
For sure. Please call the Humane Society and ask some questions about Hedgie. Maybe you would want to adopt. Good idea, for sure. Alex, thank you. Mr.
Another week under the belt.
Mr. Street Cred.
Mr. Street Cred.
A-Dog.
A-Dog, yep.
Appreciate your help.
I was hoping that wasn't going to come up today.
I know. Laura, good to see you. Thanks so much.
Yes, thank you, Laura.
See you Monday morning.
Thank you.